Hello baker friends, welcome back to Budget Baking Adventures. I am your host and pastry chef, Deanna Martinez. If you've never been here before, welcome, and if you have, welcome back. Today we are going to make bakery style chocolate chip cookies. They are just a bit delicious and very economical to make. So the recipe is a rather larger recipe. You'll get a minimum of 24 cookies out of this recipe, probably 24 plus, maybe another dozen. It just depends on the size that you make the cookies. But the ingredient cost for this recipe is approximately $7.50. So what I like to do is I like to go ahead and bake up the cookies, then use my out of air vacuum sealer bags to seal up portion sizes, and I pop them in the freezer. Easy peasy, and nothing goes to waste. So here we go. Let's get started. I am going to get out my scale and start measuring my ingredients, and I'm going to take you with me. All right, let's get to baking these delicious cookies. First, I put my butter into my stand mixer, and I start aerating that. Now I am measuring my white sugar. And after the white sugar, I am going to measure the brown sugar. You know, brown sugar doesn't pour out as easily as the white sugar does, so I needed a scoop for that. Here we go. Now we're going to cream the butter with the sugars together. Next up, eggs, 3 eggs for this recipe. And I'm going to add my vanilla into the eggs. And then the eggs and the vanilla go into the batter. Here we go, time for the dry ingredients. So I am measuring my flour, that is all-purpose flour. Then I am going to add a touch of salt and some baking soda to that. It took me a minute to measure the baking soda. Now very carefully, I'm going to add the dry ingredients into the mixer. Okay friends, hope you enjoyed seeing me prepare the ingredients. Now I am going to share with you a little trick. I always add a touch of cinnamon to my chocolate chip cookies. It just adds a little pop of flavor and it makes it taste better. So I'm going to add about a half a teaspoon cinnamon to the recipe. Everything is mixed up really well. So next, we are going to add our chocolate chips to the mix. And I have a combination of milk and semi-sweet chocolate chips here. I always use a combination of the two. This looks really good. So now I'm going to add some chocolate chips. You can use chocolate chips, chocolate chunks, mini chocolate chips, whichever you prefer in this recipe. Like I said, today I'm using a combination of milk chocolate and semi-sweet chocolate. And the thing about this is the milk chocolate chips are regular size, but the semi-sweet are a little bit larger. Almost, here, let me see if I can get closer. Almost like more the size of a chunk than a chip. See the difference? So that's what we're using today. So I'm going to add 1 cup and then another cup. And I like to make sure my cups are full, because I love chocolate. All right, so there was 1 cup. Cup number 2. And if you like them like really super chocolatey, you can add another half cup or a whole cup. You can definitely customize this recipe to make it exactly what you like. I like a little more chocolate, so I'm gonna add like another half a cup, and then we'll call it a day. It looks really good. All right, so next I am going to get out my cookie sheet, and I am going to line 2 of them. Oh, I'm sorry. I am going to line 2 of them with parchment paper. Here we go. These are my favorite type of cookie sheets. God, I am noisy today. I purchased these from Amazon, and I have parchment paper sheets under here that I'm going to show you in a moment. And they fit perfectly in my pans. Boom. You don't have to cut them and worry about cutting it straight if it's going to rip or whatever. They're already pre-sized for you. Okay? So I like to use a medium-sized cookie scoop when I'm scooping my cookies. So first, before we get into that, let me clean off my gear here. So what I like to do is I like to unlock the lid and clean the beater off the best that I can, because I do not like wasting batter, like at all. I don't like wasting anything. I've said it before on here, Deanna doesn't waste. So we're just going to get that as clean as we can. Usually I save this. I think I will for my daughter. She likes to be my human beater cleaner. So I am actually going to just set this right over here for her. And I know that she would appreciate that. And then what we're going to do is we are going to, let me move this down a little bit for you. We are going to scoop the same size cookies all across the sheet. Just like this. And the benefit to using a cookie scoop, well, yeah, it is a cookie scoop. It's an ice cream scoop, but in my house, it's a cookie scoop. Let's go with that. So the main purpose of using the scoop is to make sure that all the cookies are uniform in size. This way they all bake evenly. All right. So I am just going to go through here and get my cookies scooped evenly onto my pan. I have my oven preheated to 325 degrees, where these will bake anywhere from maybe 11 to 15 minutes. It depends on your oven. My oven tends to take a little bit longer to bake. So if I'm guessing, I would say if the recipe says 11 to 15 minutes, I'm looking maybe like 15 to 18 minutes in my oven, because, you know, everybody's oven is different. So let's go ahead and get these scooped. All right, so I've got 15 up on a pan. And another little trick for you, if you want your cookies to look really professional, there are a couple of different options. First of all, you can bake them larger in size and use an English muffin ring to bake them. And what happens is, as the cookies spread out, they'll spread out into the perfectly round size of the muffin ring, and you'll have perfectly round cookies. Another tip to make them look bakery style, and I'm actually going to show you this one in just a moment here, is to take your chocolate chips, chunks, whatever it is that you're using, and actually place a couple on top of the cookie. And what happens is, when it bakes, the cookie will have the chocolate chips on top, and it will look professional and delicious. You can go through and do them all this way, or you don't have to do this at all. Totally up to you. But there's just a couple little tricks for you. All right, friends, I have both pans filled with cookies. Each pan has 15 cookies. This recipe makes a lot of cookies. So you're definitely getting your money's worth with this recipe. So I am going to take these and put them in the oven. Again, the oven's preheated at 325. I am going to go ahead and put those into the oven and bake them, and I will let you know exactly how long they bake, and then we'll take a look at these delicious gems and have a taste. I always prefer to clean as I go. This way I don't have a big mess at the end when I'm ready to sit down and enjoy my baked goods. So another little tip on how to make your cookies bakery style is to add some M&Ms to the top. Now here I have mini M&Ms because I'm making regular sized cookies. If I was making like mega sized cookies, I would use regular size M&Ms. But since I'm not, we're using the minis, and I'm just gonna take a few and put them on top of each cookie. And then, like I said earlier, when the cookie bakes, the M&Ms will be kind of near the top, and it will look yummy and delicious, just like something that you could purchase in a bakery. All right, so I'm gonna finish this up while I'm waiting for my cookies to bake in the oven. I've got about 5 minutes left. I went ahead and scooped out the rest of my dough. I could probably get 2 more cookies if I scraped the bowl. And it really pains me to not do that, but I don't have room and I don't want to put a sheet in with 2 cookies on it. So I will save that cookie dough for snacking. So like I said, I'm going to finish this up. And then when the cookies are done and they're fully baked, we're going to take a look and we're going to have a taste. All right, see you in a few minutes. All right, so one last idea on how to make your cookies bakery style is to take some sea salt and add the sea salt to the top of the cookie before you bake it. And then you'll have a little bit of salty and a little bit of sweet mixed in with every bite of the cookie. They are really delicious this way. If you like salty and sweet, you're definitely going to like this version. All right, friends, I wound up baking my first batch of cookies for 17 minutes at 325. I put them on for 12 and then another 3 and then another 2. So the next 2 trays that I put into the oven, I went ahead and put on for 15 minutes, and I'll check them at that point and see if I need to put them on for another couple of minutes. But the oven is much hotter now, so I may not. And again, everybody's oven is different. I just know how my oven works. All right, so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna actually zoom in on this for you, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the cookies off the tray and put them onto a glass cutting board that I like to use for cooling my cookies. So I am going to work on that, and while I'm waiting for my next 2 batches to bake. All right, bakers, we have completed cookies. Now the ones that I had in the oven, I did put on for another 2 minutes, so they're still baking, but I can show you. I had this set up because I took some pictures. Let me come up close and show you one of our chocolate chip cookies. Doesn't that look delicious? Yes, it does. Now for a little tasty taste. Actually, I'm going to take one of the awkward shaped ones to taste. Let me show you what it looks like inside. You'll hear a beeping in a minute from the stove. Look at that. So these are chewy goodness. Oh my, that's good. That's really good. They're chewy, but they're light. It's not like a dense, there's our cookies. It's not like a dense cookie at all. It's chewy and light, and 2.5 cups of chocolate chips, in my humble opinion, was absolutely perfect. Now, the ones that I have to take out of the oven are the ones with the M&Ms. See if my glasses get all fogged up again. And the ones with the sea salts. Yes, oven, thank you. So if you look, they're really puffy when you take them out. But you saw what they look like after they cooled. So they do flatten out a bit. Let's turn this off. And there you have it, friends. We have made bakery-style chocolate chip cookies from scratch for under $10. More like $7.50, depending on where you get your groceries. Tip for you, I recently ordered from Amazon Fresh for my groceries, and I was pleasantly pleased. The butter was less expensive than anywhere I have found locally, and I'm just outside of Raleigh, North Carolina is where I live. And it was salted butter, 4 sticks, 1 box, and it was less than anywhere else in the area. So I highly recommend you give it a try, maybe save some money, because we're all about budget baking. Thank you for being here, and I will see you guys again soon. Have a fantastic day. If you have enjoyed this video, or any of my videos for that matter, I would absolutely be honored if you would like the video and subscribe to my channel. It's a fantastic and free way for you to show your support to a baker like me.